This podcast will bring light to Hmong-owned businesses so that as consumers, we are confident to give them our business. And as businesses, we become a reliable and trustworthy source to our community. Now, in addition, this podcast serves as a platform to build awareness for Hmong entrepreneurs and businesses while being able to connect with Hmong people all over the world. Now, I see this as an amazing way to grow our Hmong community together and advance into the next era, where Hmong communities are supporting Hmong businesses and Hmong businesses are giving back to their community. Now, I'm excited to share with you the heartbeat of Hmong entrepreneurs, where I connect with Hmong businesses all over to learn more about who they are, what's their business, and how we can give them our support. But most importantly, it's about what makes their heart beat. So these are the people who are trailblazing the way in the world of business as a Hmong person, and this is how we can support each other in a growing and evolving community. As a wise man once said, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So let's get rocking. All right, everybody. So welcome to the heartbeat of Hmong entrepreneurs. My name is Josh. I am your host. And today I am super excited for someone super unique today with us. And her name is Linda. And she has been featured in a radio station in the UK. Now, that's pretty awesome. That's like totally overseas. And definitely can't wait to hear more about that. So, Linda, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, and I appreciate you having me here. So I kind of want to talk a little bit about the radio station UK because it's a funny story. And as you know, of course, it was through Facebook, and I'm in Facebook groups where people make groups about offering free services or psychic readings, and I didn't know that the poster or the one who made the post has a job within the radio station in UK. And he was like, basically, he was very vague about it. And he was like, I'm just looking for a medium who could talk to spirits and stuff like that. So I didn't know until we had a Zoom call. He said, hey, I work for the radio station. So it's all a surprise for me. So I guess you can say it's a perfect timing kind of thing, because I guess at that side of the world, especially UK or the United Kingdom, they also have mediums of psychics, but it's not affordable as America's or United States psychics, if that makes sense. In my personal experience, I'm not saying it's like that, but it's just what I experienced so far. So I've been featured twice, and ever since that, I guess they kind of stopped. So I'm not sure what happened there between them, but I still keep in touch with those people too, as well.
Okay. Wow, that's awesome. That's totally interesting. So you got connected through one of the clients.
Mm-hmm.
All right, awesome. So, all right, Linda. So tell me a little bit more about you, like, where you're from, what your background is.
Well, I am born in the United States, and I was born in Georgia, but I was basically raised and lived in North Carolina my whole lifetime.
Okay.
So I'm like in the Hickory area. For those who know about the Hickory, North Carolina area,
Yeah.
I guess Hmong people will always spiritual about shaman on. So of course I did grow up on the shaman in the background, but I never really was into it because Hmong kids, we don't really care for the shaman stuff like that.
Right.
And so we've always been told by the elders that we have to be chosen by spirit to be shaman. So I was like, okay, so I just kind of brushed it off. And then throughout my years, I didn't really have what people call like psychic experiences, deja vu, anything like that. I think because I was going through so much traumas in my life that it kind of blocked those abilities or those experiences. And then it wasn't until like 5 years ago, which would be what, 2020, I think, or 2019, where I really started having these psychic experiences because, you know, my life is not as hectic or traumatic as back in my younger years. So I guess with that, it makes me sad because I was like, man, I'm Hmong. Why am I not shaman? Am I not chosen? Because you get so discouraged because you want to fit in with the Hmong people too and represent the Hmong community, But I think in my case, according to what people believe and whatever that your soul chose to be here and chose a specific path for a reason. So like I said, it's really complicated for those who experience that kind of calling. And throughout these years, when I try to look into shamanism or how Hmong people do it, it always hit a wall or a blockage. It's like, nope, nope, I can't go any further. So I was like, okay, so it's very discouraging. And then along the years, I just kind of, I don't know, it just kind of fell in my lap. It's like to mediumship and tarot. So I was like, okay, I just went along with it. And then, it's still to this day, people are like, oh, you're not a shaman, so we can't come to you because you don't have the services we seek. And I
Hmm.
was like, well, shamans talk to spirits. I talk to spirits, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But so my spiritual journey has been really like tough and complicated, especially being a monk person and you're not shaman. So, you know,
Yeah, no, I can see where it's difficult because that's what Big Moma, that's exactly what that is. And I think a lot of the traditional way the Hmong people is believing like solely in that as well. So and I'm sure, it sounds like you've gotten, a lot of backlash before, maybe even from the elders or whatnot. But have you like tell me, have you gotten like backlash before where it just, it's just like very discouraging or kind of question yourself?
I think I haven't got any backlash. I think it's just like over the internet, you can tell when someone's energy is like, telling you to kind of back off. You can tell by the vibe. And it's
Mhm.
more like that energy I'm getting. It's like, you're not one of us, so you're not welcome here. And I was like, well, I see you guys do tarot reading. I see you guys talk to spirits. There's no difference. It's just the label and titles differently
Mhm.
and stuff.
Got
And the jobs that we do is different. And I feel like too that in the spirit world, there's no title label. We come together because we are the middleman
Mhm.
for the spirit world and the earth.
Tell me more about that. The tarot reading and what is it? Something about the medium?
Yeah, tarot readings is just it can be used for like it's known for fortune telling and future predicting, but it's just more than that. It can be like depending on your need on that reading and how it's going to benefit you, it can be like advice, confirmation, validation, reassurance, um, a little guidance too. So again, it depending what you need from that reading, the outcome is different for everybody. So, like I say, yes, you can use it for future predicting and time frame questions or yes and no, but tarot just seems to go more in depth in explaining of the situation rather than a yes and no.
Ah, okay. Now did you have to go to a class, a course, or something in order to be able to do the tarot?
You can. It's I think it's more for the people who needs a little push
Hmm.
for that. And for me, of course, Kapoa, Hmong people is usually spiritual as it is, so we're naturally inclined, what people like to say, to be more intuitive as it is. So it didn't take me long to memorize and study tarot. It's just more that I put so much dedication time for it that I lack my balance, my life balance between my family life and then my spiritual life. And the first couple of years, my husband did not agree with it because I lacked so much balance. I was all about spiritual world. I forgot about my family. It's a curse and a blessing, you can say.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, once you get so tuned into something, that is why you kind of lose track of the other like portions of your life, like obviously like your family or maybe work life, something like that, because you're so tuned in. Just like anyone who's so tuned in with work, they're gonna eventually, or with their job, they're gonna eventually start to lose some time with their family or whatnot. So yeah, I could definitely see where it's basically a balancing act, right? Trying to to try not to spend so much time doing it, but then you're not going to be at your full potential if you don't do it too. So yeah, I can see that now. So with the tarot reading, you basically were able to pick it up,
Yeah,
right?
very quickly. Yeah.
Very quickly, yeah. And then now, what other things is it that you do?
You mentioned mediumship. So mediumship, it's just basically like what it is. Just talk to the dead or people that has passed on.
Okay.
And And I feel like it's what shamans do too, basically. When shamans talk to spirits, to kind of bribe and communicate with them. But I
Mhm.
feel like, and again, I'm not trying to like put down any shamans or like talk bad about it. It's just my personal experience and my viewpoint of it. It's more like I feel like the shamans is more of like do it my way, do my way. You have to listen to me. If you don't, then something's gonna happen to you.
Mhm.
And my case as a medium for 5 years, I always had positive experiences with spirits. It's mostly as people, loved ones that has passed. And I feel like if you meet spirit at the same level and say, hey, okay, let's talk, what's going on? Then you get more information or you get better results of the situation than just demanding, if that makes sense. I just see it as an equal exchange. And that's why I talk to people too, that there's difference between talking to spirit and talking with spirit. And it's kind of like the movie you see that in Hollywood movies where you see people see spirits in front of their physical eye, and the spirit trying to talk to you, the spirit gets frustrated because you don't understand what's going on. So that's a perfect example I can say to talking to spirit. But when you with spirit, you guys on the same level and there's no angry or frustrations or negative emotions there. It's just that equal exchange there, in my personal experience and opinion.
Okay, right, right. Now, mediumship, like I honestly haven't really like never really I've never really heard about that terminology until like
Mhm.
I was reading your registration. I was like, mediumship, what is that? So I had to look that up because that was like totally foreign to me. Now tell me more about like what that basically is. Kind of like you're like the middle person.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Um, yes. Mediumship, it's it's a different broad. There's like a mental mediumship with just the mind, what we would call the common ones you see. And then the physical mediumship is like, ectoplasm, smoke or things coming out people's mouths, like in the dark room. I think you know what I'm talking about. It's kind of like that, to like where people you see a medium and then you see ectoplasm coming out medium's mouth. That's the difference between two mediums. Mediumship is the mental, which is the mind, and then the physical, where you see the tables rocking seances. That's a perfect example of a physical mediumship. Again, you see things in the physical world. That's why it's called physical mediumship. A mental mediumship, you don't see anything, but you may experience paranormal, may, but it depends. So, like I said, it's just mediumship. It's just I can't really find the best way to describe it, but just talking to the dead, or just communicating with them, or trying to prove that there is afterlife.
Gotcha. Now, usually when people come to you, like, what are they seeking?
Um, they are either seeking, if my is my loved one okay? Are they mad at me? Sometimes they're seeking forgiveness, or in most in 1% cases, in my experience, is missing cases. Like, can they be found? Missing person case. But I don't do those because I just feel it's unethical,
Hmm.
because it doesn't hold up in the court. So it's like that. But like I said, it's just mostly those things. And then in my personal experience of how my reading go is that it's best if you come open-minded and not have expectations, because throughout all these years you've seen so many like paranormal activities and well, not really evidence, but just evidence or pictures out there that there is the afterlife or ghosts like that. um and it's so funny too, because like if you come asking me, is my dad okay, and if your dad, if he's still alive and he's the jokester prankster type, he's gonna be like, no, I'm not okay, but just kind of give you a tough time in a joking way. And just what people forget too is that your loved one's personality stay with them. So if your loved one was the type to like straight to the point and leave me alone, that's where they come up as too. um they don't want to talk about their death. They don't want to talk how they pass, or their pain. Did they experience pain or done? They don't want to talk about themselves. They want to talk about you
Mm.
and what they see that can benefit you in your life that you need to work on or fix on and stuff like that. And I get backlash for that because I don't give them what they seek. And I said, I'm sorry, but it's what your loved one want to tell you. And
Hmm.
then a couple of years or a month down the road, they come back to me like, oh, yeah, what you say is true. So it's kind of like it depends on the reading.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm curious, like right, like when you are in the beginning where you started like being able to experience all these things, like how was that situation? Like, how do you take it?
Are you talking about the paranormal experience or like the psychic
Well,
ability
just
experience?
both. Like when you
Okay.
first started, like, hey, I didn't know I had this thing, this gift.
I want to say the paranormal activities, I'm not going to discredit. I feel like it's uncommon
Hmm.
because, like I said, I don't want to deny or discredit to. I know there's paranormal activities out there, but I feel like it's just really exaggerated,
Hmm.
really exaggerated. And the reason why I said that is because for those who experience paranormal activity in their house or in their life, they would know exactly what I'm talking about, which is like things moving, windows, door open, stuff like that. It's really small. It's nothing too major like what Paul would make it to be.
Right.
In my
The
cases, I never
windows
really,
shuttering like crazy, and
yeah,
the
it's
doors just
very
bust
subtle.
open. Yeah.
And I feel like the one who experiences those like heavy poltergeist activities, like I said, I don't want to put fear into people's mind, and that's not what I hear him to do. It's just like find out where the problem is and where it's coming from. Because
Hmm.
if you don't, and you just automatically assume it's like, oh, it's a demon, then it's gonna feed off the energy and pretend to be a demon when it's not. So that's why I say it's best to get a priest or someone who specializes in talking to spirits, like mediums or witches or shamans, so you can pinpoint what's causing the paranormal activity.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Now, what about when you first like started getting all these, I guess these things that you just didn't know you had? Like, how did you react? How did you feel about that?
Well, honestly, my best friend, her uncle jumpstart my mediumship journey. It was unplanned, unexpected, unwanted, uninvited, but I was talking to her on Facebook Messenger, and then she had to step out the camera. And what we call is automatic writing, where you just write down a piece of paper and just start channeling or writing down things, information. And I
Hmm.
was getting certain information. And then I was like, okay, this is weird. So I wait till she came back and I was like, hey, let's go through these information or messages wherever it came through. It's just like, okay, yeah. So she validated each sentence or each word that came through. And she said, that sounds like her uncle that has passed.
Hmm.
And then so that's where my mediumship jump started is because I was just waiting for my friend to come back from, wherever she was doing. And then it comes a spirit. And I guess, like I said earlier too, is just that I feel like it's easier for people who are naturally inclined or naturally exposed to spiritual or spirituality because, again, it's already there for us.
Like, when I guess when you're open to it, it makes you more susceptible to it, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. All right. So you were basically hanging out with your uncle, and then your uncle basically was the one that asked you to just start doing some things.
My friend's uncle did.
Your friend's uncle, yeah, your friend's uncle. Okay, gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Wow, that's so crazy. And how old were you then?
Oh, I think I was like 22.
22? Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
That's not my first like spirit experience. I think the first time, I'm not sure how mad she is gonna be, my sister, because that's when I really did like acknowledge, but I didn't do anything about it. So when my sister's boyfriend, dad that passed, he came to me in a dream, but I didn't see him. I heard his voice, and he's like, "Tell him I'm okay." So I messaged my sister and said, "Hey, I think your dad, came here to talk to me, say he's okay and stuff." But like I said, that's where I really became aware that spirits were something's out there and
Yeah,
stuff like that. And like
right.
I said, I never had really any paranormal activities. Thank God. I know, but that sounds bad, but thank God. But I think having those moments where you know, spirit comes to you, or visitation with loved ones really like makes you question things.
Yeah. Yeah. So what made you take this on into an entrepreneurial journey?
It just felt like a calling. It's like that little, it's not little, to me it was like a major pull. I was like, go do it, you know. And I've always been that person too. It's like if I feel a pull, I'll go and see what's up. And then that's why my mom said that, you know, excuse my language. This is what she exactly said, that you found out so much that you put yourself in so many dangers in your life. And I was like, I can't help it. You know, it's just like who I am, you know, because if I feel the pull, I'll go for it. Whether it's good or bad pull, you know, it
Mhm.
shaped me who I am today. And I think after talking to my friend and connecting with her uncle made me really realize I have such a natural talent for this. I didn't need to take any development classes or circles to hone in to my psychic abilities. Like I said, because Hmong people are already exposed to spiritual community as it is.
Right. Growing up, we went to church, but and then we eventually we switched back to the traditional ways as
Mm.
well. So now that's a story in itself, actually. It had to do with my brother, and it had to do with the spiritual stuff too, which is why we went back traditional also. So that's pretty interesting. Wow, that's awesome. Now, so that's taking you into the entrepreneurial journey with this. Now, tell me what I mean, is there could you say that there's a difference between you and someone else who's also the like a tarot reader or a I guess was this medium?
Um, I want to say yes and no. I believe that anybody can become a medium because I believe everybody has psychic abilities, but it's up to you whether you want to tap into it and stuff. And for for tarot readers, there are people who read by the guidebook, the book that comes with the cards, or people who read intuitively. And I believe that there are some people who be both or one or the other. But for the one who's guidebook, they again they need a little push to tap into the intuitive side, which I am, which is I'm the intuitive reader. I kind of channel messages and I just feel the energy of the cards of your asking question, and then I see what the cards pull out and say. Again, is this like so for example, you ask me, am I gonna meet my love life within a year? And then somehow my psychic abilities will start going off and be like, yes, no. And then I was like, you know what? Let's go to the cards first and see what's going on. And then it just, I don't know. It feels like sometimes they battle each other because it's like, yes, this is the information that you need to hear. And then the card's like, no, this is the information you need to hear. So sometimes I notice too that it's kind of like other people kind of have like inner battle too if they want to be intuitive or following what the guidebook says, if that makes sense. So I don't think there's any difference between me and them. It's just I'm more intuitive and I'm more talking to spirits because every time I try to use tarot, spirits like, nope, put the cards down. You can talk to us and stuff like that. I was like, well, people want to see evidence and they like to see evidence in their face so they can believe me.
Yeah.
So sometimes I had to fight with your spirit team too to let you know, say, hey, you know, this is what they have to say and stuff.
Okay.
And then I think this is where people don't like me. And I think that's okay because they think I'm a gatekeeper or negative. I think it's just because that nobody wants to talk about the taboo, which is being ethical and doing readings with integrity and being honest about it. And I think that's what most people don't like it. I know there's difference between being honest and being a mean person about it, but I don't think I am because it's like you see when you go TikTok, you see so many people tarot readers put questions like yes, no, but they don't tell you the meaning of the cards. And I was like, that's not how tarot is. Like, let's just say I pull like I don't know a card and then I give you a false reading out of it. That makes sense. It's just kind of to feed your ego and kind of keep you coming back to me. And I think that's where people fail to realize is that you don't use your discernment and you go fall prey into being scammed and not have a good reading.
So there are those out there. I guess there's a bad batches everywhere.
Hmm. And
In
then I think again with me being more outspoken and telling people and spreading awareness about what to do, what not to do, red flags and green flags when it comes to getting reading or psychic, people don't like it because it's considered taboo and they don't want to hear the truth.
mm-hmm.
They just want someone to feed their ego so they can feel good about themselves. And that's not what who I am. Like I want to see you develop and grow into a better person, because I don't want to see you sad all the time and then you get depressed. I want to see you successful. So I'm a really tough loving person and I'm not for everybody, and that's okay.
Do you like, can you tell when someone is like that? Like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do
I
you like deny them or like tell them that that you guys are not a great fit?
hmm yeah,
Okay.
I do. And it's sad, but it's because people talk about they getting scammed our money so bad, and or is this reader put so much fear into them, like, oh, you have attachment, you have a curse on you, the usual scammer type of like sayings. And it just feels like I don't know, it's hard to explain. Like you intuitively know where someone's here for the money or someone truly is here for learning about it. In most cases that I see is that they're just here for the money, like quick bucks,
Mm-hmm.
and then just take advantage of people. And I think that's where people don't like me too, is because I have such a passion for this, and they're like, "Oh, you're gatekeeping. Oh, you're negative. You don't let people come in and use this for money." And I was like, I understand, you got bills to pay and money, but at the end of the day, does it make you feel better? So yeah, I have turned down a couple people, but it's because it goes against what I believe in.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. No, if it goes against what you believe in, for sure, I would stick to that as well. Now, where do you see yourself going with this?
This, I don't know yet. I just like to go the flow because you never know what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Right now I am doing like pop-up events, like festivals, vendor events. It seems to work better that way with me than working with local businesses, like small business, because I just feel like it's a dog eat dog world out there in the business world, which I understand, you gotta make a living too, but I just feel like the integrity is not there anymore. It's all about pushing people down so you can get on top of them. It's not there anymore. And that's why I kind of quit, doing business local communities, is because they talk about let's help each other, let's build each other up, go support them, go support them that. But really they're talking about go support the people that aligns with their beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's nothing wrong with that. It just feels like kind of like I say, Molu Moa, it's not there, even though they preach about it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I can see that they're I guess in the world where we live in, obviously, people are going to support things that they believe in, and I think that goes for a lot of people, and even me. Like, if I believe in something, or I'm a believer in, let's say, I believe in supporting, uh, businesses that are eco-friendly, like I would definitely go do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Versus someone who doesn't really care about that, they're probably less likely to go support a business like that. So I think everyone is willing to invest or use support people who in whatever they believe in, and that's totally up to them, 100% for sure. But I like what you're doing because you're able to pop into those pop-up events, into those was it festivals, or even like was like farmers market, or even those type of markets that
Mm-hmm.
that pops up. What are some of the latest like places that you are getting ready to go into?
um I'm getting ready to go to a pop-up event where I have to pay a vendor fee. And I want to touch back on what you just said earlier, because
Yep.
I think about it's okay to support people that align to your beliefs and values, but I feel like too that it's really hard to find anybody who supports anybody, regardless of beliefs, religion, because that's where the growth goes to, or is made. Because if you support people who go to church and they still make fun of you, that's where, I don't know, it's just kind of like good things can come to people who supports each other, regardless of their beliefs and values in the skin color. And I think that's where we need to see more of that for
Mhm.
business to grow and flourish. Because if you don't, then it's kind of like the business is kind of like steady movements rather than you supporting everybody regardless what you believe in. And you just kind of go boom. And I think I noticed that too, observing in the business industry too, especially the mediumship, is like, I don't know, it's just sometimes it's really difficult, but I just feel like it's important to support the community that may go against what you believe in, because you may never know. You make a good ally, you may make a good ally or friend along the way.
Oh yes, of
So it's
course,
important to be
absolutely.
open minded.
Yes, 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 for sure. Yes. And I agree with you with that as far as being able to help each other grow. And don't lash down on each other. That's the biggest thing. Even though you may not believe in what they believe in, but it's a matter of, being ethical and being right about what you do, and do right to other people as well. Just like the
Mm-hmm.
way you want to do right to like done right to you yourself as well. So like this is exactly what this podcast is all about, is being able to bring in entrepreneurs and people together, helping our community learn about each other's business, each other's drives, and each other's journeys, so that we can all learn to help each other to grow in our community. So 100%, yes, yes.
Um, and then you ask about my event. So it's this Saturday, April 6th. I'm going to Valdez, and there's like an indoor flea market called Jim's Indoor Flea Market in Valdez.
Um, Repeat that again. What is it called?
And Valdez, April 6th, this Saturday. I think Jim's Indoor Flea Market is having like a multi-vendor event. So all kinds of vendors will be there, including myself. So I'll be there. I think it's 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. And
Um,
then go ahead.
oh yeah, no, I was just gonna ask, was there anything future, since this is actually gonna go live next Friday?
I think April 27th, I'm gonna be in Denver and I'm gonna be helping out a a person who basically kind of like a rescue animal, but she's not a one-on-one, whatever required for her. She does to help animals out of her own pocket. So she's hosting like adopt and shop event in Denver, and I'm gonna be there giving tarot readings and showing support to her. It'll be on again April 27th, I think 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. I could be wrong, but I do have it on my Facebook. You can see the event. And then this next one very makes me so happy. And this is where I kind of talk goes back to what I talked about earlier too, where June 22nd, it's gonna be an event where veterans is a suicide awareness month for veterans.
June 22nd.
Second, yeah. It'll be 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and that's all the way in Kings Mountain, North Carolina. And yeah, so it is a awareness event for veterans that has like trauma, PTSD, and everything. It's just like a suicide awareness
Okay,
and
yep.
stuff.
So June 22nd, Veterans Suicide Awareness, from, repeat the time frame for me.
8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
8 Oh, wow, that's all day.
Yeah, and then I think last year, according to what the owner told me, it's like a walk event to like every walked for like a certain mile, whatever. It was a 9 day event, but
Oh,
this year is only 1 day.
okay.
So this is why I said earlier too that it's so important to support different communities or different people that is, different from you, if that makes sense. And that's why I say too that you may never know, you make an ally or a friend, a really powerful one too, especially the veterans event coming up. That's, it's really beneficial for me just because I know a lot of people who has loved ones that has passed are veterans too.
Right, right. 100%. So that'll be June.
The veterans is in Kings Mountain.
Kings Mountain. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you travel all over the place?
Um, I don't want to, but
Yeah.
I try to support different events for different causes to show support. And that's a tough side too. Being a tour reader is like, oh, you're a tour reader. No, we don't accept you. So it's really hard to find people who would support me in a way and
Right.
stuff like that.
Shoot, I am actually running out of time right now. So, I've got okay, I'm so sorry, everyone. So we actually got cut off because we lost track of time. We're just having conversation, and I absolutely, it was my fault. I lost track of time, and so our podcast got cut off. So what happened was I sent Linda another link so that we can get back on, so I can record the ending of this podcast. But for some reason, it actually didn't record, so I'm super bummed out about that. And Linda, if you're listening, I am so sorry. I know you're listening, so I just want to apologize for that. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to finalize this podcast. And I just want to say thank you, Linda, for being on the show, being vulnerable, being open about who you are. And I really, truly appreciate that. I wish you well in your endeavors. And hopefully, I will get to see you back again on the podcast once more later down in the road. So, thank you so much for being here and being a part of the heartbeat of Hmong entrepreneurs. Now, before I let you go, I just want to thank all my listeners, all my guests, future and past, for being here on our channel. Thank you so much. Now, if you love what I'm doing, for the cost of a cup of coffee per month, your support will help me continue on this mission to connect with Hmong entrepreneurs all over. Now, it also helped me to maintain this channel, the software, and equipment that's needed to make this the best possible experience for you who are my listeners. Now, your support can be canceled at any time, so don't worry about that. But yeah, thank you so much for your support and being a listener. And I hope that you will join me on my next episode. This podcast is sponsored by Marketing Executions, a digital marketing agency for local businesses. You can find out more at www.marketingexecutions.com. Again, my name is Josh. This is the heartbeat of Hmong entrepreneurs.